I don't know where to begin when talking about Kai Patterson's re-edit of the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, since that's what this is. I wanted to review the show, since in some ways, to say my thoughts on it, since I definitely have my own take on what I would do if I could change it, improve it, or, do it in a way that made me feel like I got the story I wanted from a character who deserves way better. And this movie, or, re-edit gave me that. I'm just a little shaky in terms of describing this as a movie or re-edit, and I don't review TV shows since they are very long and hard to judge based on different seasons and episodes. I mean, the show was originally going to be a movie, but when Solo Star Wars story bombed, they decided with the success of The Mandalorian, the focus should be on making a live-action Star Wars series instead on Disney Plus instead of movies, which honestly, stuff like The Book of Boba Fett showcased many problems that Star Wars is now relying on. Some cases franchising, having characters from Star Wars media come up and being like, remember? Also being, suffering bad writing and production, but my point still stands. The best episodes of that show were the ones without Boba Fett, and honestly, I would have enjoyed the Boba Fett show if they didn't think, how do we make Boba Fett a crime boss, but still a hero at the same time? Which, that sounds alone makes no sense, because I would have loved to see what a space crime show would have looked like. Anyway, so I'm going to review this re-edit both as a critique of the show and the re-edits by Kai Patterson made. I don't know that much about Kai Patterson. He's made many short films and is somewhat popular on TikTok. I think. I say as someone who has never used TikTok. Insert shrug. But props for this guy, since, all the articles and responses I'd seen about him saying he did because of the reasons I won't paraphrase, since you should read them yourself, but are understandable, I'll say that. And he's definitely been okay so far with any negative feedback, showing this to someone I hope gets more praise or well-known work in the future. With that out of the way, an Obi-Wan Kenobi solo movie has a lot of potential. I didn't really know what I would do with it, since I feel like I know most of this character's beginning, middle, and end. For the movies and the Clone Wars show, but bringing back Ewan McGregor definitely got people interested, so that's cool. I think he nails this character 100% back then and now, and it's so crazy to me how much I just see this character on screen again, much older and different, but he's still Obi-Wan Kenobi. And Ewan's performance in the show deserves at least an Emmy nomination. I mean, winning might be a bit much, but yeah. But with that said, what is the actual show about? Well, taking place 10 years after Revenge of the Sith, Obi-Wan now lives in hiding in solitude after Anakin fell to the dark side and the Emperor took over the galaxy, with his only hope to make it through the next day to make sure Anakin's children, specifically Luke, is trained to be a Jedi one day, despite Luke's uncle Owen, played by Joel Edgerton, who wants Obi-Wan to distance himself from them. Things change, though, when Anakin's other child, Leia, played by Vivien Lyra Blair, is kidnapped in a plan orchestrated by an Inquisitor named Reva, played by Moses Ingram, to draw Obi-Wan, which works as he comes to rescue Leia, but while trying to get her back, Obi-Wan discovers something bigger than he could imagine and must do what he can to make up for the shortcomings of his past, and do what he can in the present that's best for everyone. Obi-Wan must find his faith again, and this revelation will change everything he ever thought of. The show suffered a lot. The most criticism I saw was with it focusing way too much on Reva at times. And I know a lot of people straight up hate this character, and I don't think it's a bad character. It's just, it took away a lot of time for Obi-Wan in his own show. The opening shot of the series was a key childhood moment for her instead of Obi-Wan. And many people felt like she was just there for either more setting up spin-offs or just padding it. To me, I think the character could work if it wasn't trying to force me to sympathize with her. Since I do agree focus was lost, but the movie fixes every single problem I had with this character. Here, she's way more ruthless. It makes it look like she doesn't care who she kills to get what she wants. So making me not think she's unsure of her choices, I feel like she's actually a threat. And honestly, even more complex this way, since it's only revealed by the third act instead of the beginning how she came to be who she is. And also removing all the scenes with her from the last episode of the show, since she felt 100% pointless in the finale. So the last scene with her in the story is way more impactful and interesting. So thank you, Kai. Thank you for fixing Reva. I know lots of people just wanted her gone completely, but this is what I wanted the character to be. Thank you. I doubt you'll see this, but yeah. But okay, considering the story is everything happening right after the other, it also flows as a single story. It feels like a movie. I won't pretend like it works, since I did have some problems. And that's not really Kai's fault. There were things he couldn't really fix. But this is Oscar-worthy editing, because if I had to praise one thing alone, I would have never thought this was a show originally. most of the time, I don't feel like I'm missing anything, and the pacing feels just right. It's still a 2 hour and 20-minute movie, but I never got bored despite already knowing the story since it's presented way better. There were 2 scenes or more I could probably think of that were being cut, but I feel like I'm missing something, but I'm willing to excuse it since it's just reshuffling some scenes. So it's not just, but it also isn't just, reshuffling some scenes. Now, if some dialogue was changed or characters speak more in character, okay, like, this is, like, I almost wish I did make a video just to say this one thing, because I had this thought when I saw this scene for the first time. Because there's the scene where Obi-Wan lies to his stormtroopers about being a farmer and slimming up the fake name he and Leia used, and I thought it would have made more sense for him to not screw it up, since that character wouldn't make that mistake, and that little detail is changed and is fixed to feel more in character. There are some stupid things that can be fixed, like that gate scene that could easily be walked around, but they don't, since I'm sure they originally wanted like a wall or something, but they didn't have that in the budget. So any scene I wish they had improved dialogue does have it. I mean, I can't say all of it because that would be spoilers in the show that came out like a few weeks ago and everyone already talked about. But I don't really know how to judge this. Also, now I say that, because, on one hand, it's one of the most impressive reads I've seen, and I only wanted to say this now since I didn't want to sound pretentious at the beginning, because I didn't want to be like, oh, I feel like I would have personally have tried. Like, I feel like I would have, but I don't know if I would have been as good as Kai Patterson was. Oh, I saw a couple of other people said they were going to do this too, and reads of Star Wars movies is nothing new. I haven't seen them, but it's nothing new. I know that at least. But this is a new and way more readily available option as of now, until Disney probably sues this guy who isn't profiting at all from this and only did this out of his heart and respect for the franchise. Oh, the world we live in. I mean, on its own, yes, some scenes can't be re-edited to work, but they're done the best they can, and the story itself may not be perfect. I mean, when I think about it, the story itself is that what happens is Obi-Wan goes to rescue Leia in a plan by Reva, in a plan orchestrated by Reva to draw Obi-Wan out, which he rescues her, the two escape, but Obi-Wan has to part ways when he comes across Darth Vader, and then they do it again. For the second half of the movie, Leia gets kidnapped, Obi-Wan goes after her and escapes Darth Vader. Look, I'll just stop now, since I'm not trying to spoil the movie. Re-edit. Oh my god, my head hurts. Whatever. It's hard to judge this, since I feel like on its own I give it an 8 out of 10. But as a re-edit, I give it a 9 out of 10. Or an A, maybe A minus. I don't know. Who am I to grade this? Oh yeah, critic. It's definitely better than I could have done, though, I'll say that. But all I can say is, may the Force be with Kai Patterson, if that means anything, because, whatever. But this is my favorite, but I want to say also, this is my favorite Star Wars movie since The Force Awakens, all those years ago. And I'd rather watch this again than watch that new Andor show, because, I'm sorry, why am I supposed to care about the Andor show? Like, I see people excited, I'm like, really? Did anyone ask for that? Yeah. Anyways, thanks again, Kai Patterson. I'm now gonna go fall asleep. To compromise my feelings and thoughts, I'm gonna give Kai Patterson's Obi-Wan Kenobi an 8.5 out of 10. Although, I'll admit, this could actually be one of my top 10 films of the year.